Hello and welcome, US CMA students from all across the globe and is specifically in India. Well, I am very sure that you are gearing up for your upcoming January and February exam windows. And for that, we at Apex Academics wish you all the very best. Becoming a US CMA is a professional goal slash dream slash milestone for all of you. And believe me, with this degree under your belt, you are going to be a value additive professional in the finance and accounting stream in at least 80 to 85 countries all across the world. USCMA is going to give you an entry into that elite club of finance and accounting professionals, which is going to be a culminating factor for you becoming a CFO of a large corporation or organization in your upcoming and bright career. Now, all of us have only one aim and one goal: to pass the USCMA examination, whether it is part 1 or part 2, in the very first go. The reason is simple. You guys pay an extremely high amount of examination registration fees. If we are to compare the examination fees of US CMA with Indian CA or Indian CMA or ICWA, as it was earlier referred to, the fees of US CMA examination registration are at least 5 to 7 times, that of your Indian CA. You can even go on to say that they are 10 to 11 times depending on the current exchange rate and the likes of that. So passing the examination in the first go is a given. And to ensure that you pass this exam in the first go, become a part of the elite IMA body, do not waste your precious and hard-earned money on examination fees and registration fees. These are the top 5 blunders that every US CMA student or aspirant simply must avoid. You want to pass? You shall. Just don't make these big 5 blunders. Big blunder number 1. You only focus on MCQs and never consider focusing on the essay type questions. Well, the exam pattern is to blame for this particular blunder. As you are aware that MCQs amount to approximately 75% of your scaled score, and you need to score 50% on your MCQs to ensure that your essay window opens up. So what do most of the students do? They invest all of their energy, their time, their attention, their best efforts into studying MCQs and doing their best in clawing through for that requisite 50%. And in their entire preparation process, they do not budget enough time for essay type questions that amount to approximately 25% of their scaled score. And believe this gospel truth, until and unless you crack the essay window, you will not have your coveted CMA degree in your pocket. Only MCQs are not your passing mantra. Essays and MCQs together are your passing mantra. Remember that essays are only a cluster of MCQs presented to you in the format of a case study. Essays test your concepts slightly more than MCQs do. What is essential for achieving success on essay type questions? First off is attempting the question in itself. Write to the best of your conceptual understanding an answer that suits the question being presented by the examination. Share your conceptual depth and understanding with the examination machine, thereby coaxing and forcing them to grade you for your essay questions. Most of the students that we have profiled who have been unfortunately unsuccessful have left the essay questions half-heartedly attempted, unattempted, or because of poor time planning, they did not have time to properly attempt the essay window. They just left it unattempted. And what happened as a result of this was, while they did well on their MCQs, their score stopped at 340, 350 in some cases, which was missing out on success by the skin of their teeth. And I do not want a single one of you to come so close to success, taste it in your mouth, but not have it in your hands. I want to make sure that the least that you ever score on your exams is a score of 400 scaled, for which essays are a prerequisite. Ensure that you are giving enough time for making the right conceptual written notes when you are doing your MCQs. These conceptual understandings will help you to answer essay questions better. For instance, if I was to say material usage variance is your essay type question, why is it so that standard quantity is less than actual quantity, because of which the usage variance has become adverse? Now, was it because of operator error? Was it because of poor internal controls? Was it because of lack of management dedication? Why was it so? These aspects have to be pointed out in your answer in the form of bullets if you can. And trust me, get cracking when you are doing essay type questions on your keyboards, on your laptops or computers, because essays are going to be a typed answer. Give your hands and brains the exercise of typing an answer, because that is what the real time scenario will demand from you. So how do you avoid big blunder number one? Focus on essays. They are just a cluster of MCQs. Focus on conceptual clarity. Whatever study material you are using, go in there and type down your essay type answers. If typing in the first go is inconvenient, write it on a piece of paper. Check out what it seems and reads like, and then type it down. Give yourself the freedom of time, but ensure that you have strict discipline. After every unit, you are doing at least 5 to 7 essay questions. Ensure of that. Big blunder number 2: disorderly completion of studies and revision. Studying 12 hours a day or studying 18 hours a day is never a requisite of any examination, whether it is CA, whether it is ACCA, whether it is US CMA, CPA, CFA or FRM, or even CAS or Indian ICWA. It does not have this prerequisite or precondition that you must study for 12, 18 or 20 hours a day. That's a myth. Studies must have discipline, planning and a timetable attached to them. Disorderly completion of studies and revision will give you a loop-sided result, where you know, say 2 or 3 out of your 6 units and the other 3 are purely a gamble. Please don't do this. For all those of you who are attempting your part 1 this time, follow our recommended order of revision and studies. Begin with the unit on cost management, which helps you to understand the basics of costing, from variable costs, fixed costs, semi-variable costs, that goes on to graduate into complicated aspects such as process costing, equivalent units, allocation of overheads, absorption, etc. Jump over to planning, budgeting and forecasting, which is, I believe, the easier out of the first 3 units that are listed here. Planning, budgeting and forecasting is a mix of theory and practical questions. Understand the essence of why budgeting and forecasting are essential. Ensure that you have read enough of the theory concepts and attempted MCQs and essays. Jump over to performance management after that, which is clearly broken down into 2 parts: standard costing, that is variance analysis, and other smaller chapters within it, such as transfer pricing, performance measurements such as return on income, return on assets, etc. Ensure that all the standard costing, that is variance analysis formulae, are conceptually absorbed by you. You can follow us on YouTube to make sure that we are giving you the best of our content absolutely free of cost. With these three units ticked up, your costing for part 1 is essentially completed. Jump into the theoretical aspects of internal control, which is purely a bird's eye view of the discipline of auditing and assurance. Understand the nuances of internal control and audit risk. Ensure that enough MCQ practice is done, because internal controls pose some of the most confusing MCQ type questions on a theoretical base of questioning. Jump over to the big whale, that is external financial reporting decisions, which is not costing but financial reporting and has selective aspects of GAAP. You will deal with leases, cash flows, inventory, revenue recognition, financial instruments, etc. Ensure that you have understood every aspect of accounting from the very journal entry level, and take reasonable comfort in this particular unit. The sixth unit is an Achilles heel even for the best. Technology and analytics. So much content to study, but so little questions being asked. But this myth of so little questions being asked was broken in the current September October 2023 window, where many of our students faced off with essay type and MCQ based questions on the unit technology and analytics. Follow Apex Academics for getting a complete chart based summary of this unit. Read and refer to our charts, and I guarantee you that any MCQ you pick up, whether it is from whichever study material, you will be able to solve it with flying colors. Remember, theory is not mugging up. Theory is memorizing concepts logically and scientifically, and the use of charts is going to be very useful in the process of doing that. That was our take on part 1. Let's come to part 2. Now, people generally have this myth that part 2 is easier than part 1. Let me tell you, they are both equally easy. But a cushion that part 2 provides is that in size and volume of syllabus, part 2 is slightly smaller compared to part 1. Therefore, students may find it a slightly easier unit of, a combination of units to attempt. Begin your part 2 preparation by starting with the unit investment decisions, or as some of you may be referring to it as capital budgeting analysis. This unit requires you to understand the concept of time value of money, net present value, profitability index, payback period, discounted payback period, and calculation of internal rate of return. The bedrock of this chapter is calculation of cash flows as are necessary for decision making. This unit poses a rich plethora of essay questions as well, and although it may account for only 10% of your entire marking scheme, these 10% in your pocket are like a very good starting to your innings of your US CMA part 2. From investment decision, jump over to financial statements analysis, which is nothing but ratio analysis. Refer to Apex Academics free lectures on ratio analysis and logically understand each ratio and why it is so that the formula is as such. Solve an ample amount of MCQs on ratios to get reasonable comfort on the same. With these two under your belt, go towards the big boy, that is corporate finance. Now, corporate finance is the heart of traditional financial management in your second part of US CMA, which is nothing but a strategic financial management oriented module. Cost of capital, mergers and acquisition, derivatives, foreign currency, and various such chapters, which are the bedrock of financial management, you will have the sheer pleasure of learning. Remember that it is a rich formula based unit, but each formula has its own logic and basis of application. Ensure that you have understood that basis and solve a plethora of MCQs and essays specifically for this unit, corporate finance. Jump over to decision analysis, which is a mixture of economics and costing. ensure that you understand the meaning of relevant costs, ensure that you understand the meaning of incremental costs, of break even point calculations based on profit volume ratios, you understand elasticity of demand. These are essential for your MCQs, because the MCQs here are like facing a world class spinner like Shane Warne or Muthaiya Muralidharan, or even for that matter our very own Harbhajan Singh on a turning track. So the questions may seem to be going towards, a particular direction, but the answer is on an exactly opposite path. Read the questions of this particular unit thoroughly before jumping in to say that you know the answer. The last two, I say, are your bedrocks of passing. Why? Professional ethics will have double edged and confusing MCQ questions, but will not have complicated calculations. Ensure that ethics and risk management are done in a holistic manner by referring to our charts of Apex Academics and solving all the MCQs that we have prescribed. For the January and February exam windows, we are going to make available the charts of professional ethics and enterprise risk management by the 15th of December 2023 for all of you to take advantage of, so that these two units, which account for 15% and 10% respectively, 25% of your syllabus is in your pocket, and I at Apex guarantee you that professional ethics as a unit can be completed within 4 to 5 hours and enterprise risk management within 2 to 3 hours based on our charts. Charts are a logical and scientific method of going through your theoretical aspects of preparation. Please ensure discipline and an orderly completion of studies and revision. And yes, you need 2 revisions to face the examination. The third blunder. Now, these brand names are something that you guys are absolutely in love with. Becker, Sargent, Wiley, Hogg, Gleim, so many fantastic publications. Scholarly writers, absolutely wonderful question banks. I am not saying Becker is better than Hawk or Hawk is better than Sargent and Sargent is better than Gleim. No, they are all equally good, and trust me, they are all equally bad as well. Why? Because they have only those many questions, and after a point in time, students who solve these, question banks of these publications, these study materials, come up and say that now our questions have become memorized, the questions are learned by heart, there is no challenge. When I read the question, I know what the answer is. So what is weak stays weak only, because you have by hearted your answer and are going through, which is an absolutely poisonous way of studying. Keep your eyes open for the Institute of Management Accountants examination support package. This examination support package is actually the Bible and Quran of the CMA. And all of these guys, Becker, Hawk, Sargent, Gleim, Wiley, etc., maybe there are some names of publications that I am not even taking here. They follow in the footsteps of the IMA, because of course the IMA is the exam conducting and setting body, and they replicate the questions of the IMA exam support package in their database. So go to the very source of your studies and ensure that solving the exam support package cover to cover, all MCQs, all essays, and all additional questions is an essential to do, must do, have to do, should do in your preparations, because the exam support package is exactly how, or the nature of exactly how, the questions may come in the exam. Don't expect the same numbers to be there, that is Donkey Kong, but ensure that if you know how to crack a particular concept, you are going to get your marks in full. See the drafting of the question by the IMA. Becker, Sargent, Hawk, Gleim, Wiley, etc., are going to replicate the exam question pattern, the methodology of asking the question that the CMA exam support package does. So, ignoring the IMA support package and overemphasizing on your purchase study material because you have paid thousands and thousands of rupees for it is a big blunder. I understand you've paid thousands of rupees for these valuable study materials, and I respect them, the writers, the publication houses. But do not ignore your essential compass, which is your exam support package. The fourth blunder is gambling. What do I mean by gambling? Some of you get together and fire this dart in the dark. This time around, there will be more theory questions in the exam. 60% of the exam will be theoretical. No, 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 no. I know this fellow from that, coaching class. They are saying it will be 50-50. No, 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 no. My faculty in this other coaching class told me it will be more towards practical. No, 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 no. This other coaching class is the best. They give you guarantee of placement in America. They have got 80,000 subscribers on YouTube. They have got the biggest this and the smallest that. They are saying that it's going to be a mix of three. Absolutely not. First of all, don't ever do this analysis of how much will be theory and how much will be practical. Whether it's 100% theory, 100% practical, 50, 60, 70, 30, whatever the heck it may be, you have to pass it. That's your objective. You can't say that, oh, it's going to be like this, so I'll do like that. It's going to be more of practical, so I'll do more of costing. Don't make that blunder. How do you decide sitting in your home? Most of these service providers don't even pick up your phone calls after you paid them their fees here. Please understand. Do not focus only and only on numerical questions. Ensure that your preparation is a conceptually sound one. Focus on numericals along with an equivalent emphasis on theoretical questions and concepts, because more often than not, theoretical questions can be a tricky wicket, a sticky wicket for you, because the kind of questions that may be asked test your basics and understanding of the concept at its very basis, at its very roots. So you cannot ignore theoretical concepts. Some students say, I am weak at numericals, so I will do only theory. Don't make that mistake. If you are weak at numericals, muscle up, follow Apex, ask us for help, and we are here for you. You are becoming a CMA. Number crunching is going to be your DNA. You can't be afraid of numbers. You're becoming a CMA. You can't be somebody who just punches and cracks numbers and crunches numbers. You need to understand why it is that a particular thing is being done. Why is it that a particular variance is adverse, and how do I convert it into favorable? How it is that fixed overheads are under absorbed or over absorbed, and what is the basis of doing that? What's the essential difference between variable costing and absorption costing? How is it so that the inventory is valued under absorption costing by including fixed manufacturing overheads, whereas marginal or variable costing does not? These are basic concepts that have to be a part of your DNA. I wake you from your sleep, you should be able to answer them. That's the level of preparation you need to put yourself through, for which you have to have an equal footing on theory as well as practical. You can't just say I'm a batsman and I cannot bowl. You can never be a complete cricket team. You can't say that I can take good shots with a football but I cannot run. You'll never be a good footballer. Similarly, if you're only good at numerical or theory, you'll never become a complete CMA. You have to be good at both of them, focus on both of them, and achieve the desired level of perfection for both of them. The next is a big blunder that students commit. I know that you have paid a lot of money for your study materials, as I just mentioned. A lot of money for IMA registration, as I just mentioned. You've paid a bomb to these existing mammoths of CMA coaching. Let's not take names. So what happens? You focus only on your purchased study material and why for confidence and success. Say you've done it from a baker and suddenly somebody gives you a question bank of Sergeant, because now everybody is connected on WhatsApp and Telegram and Who and God knows what not. You get a bunch of questions drafted in a different spirit from another service provider, and it rattles your confidence, and whatever you have studied just goes down the drain and you lose confidence. First of all, study conceptually, and don't just be completely isolating yourself only to your purchased study material. I know you paid thousands for it. Ensure that your purchased study material is coupled with the exam support package and you are solving timely and focused mocks with essay type questions. At least 4 mocks are being solved by you before you go for the real exam. Imagine the level of confidence if you have passed the examination 4 times before actually going and attempting it. That is essentially what you need to do, and that is what is going to save your fees. That is what is going to give you your degree, and that is what is going to make you a CMA. Not appearing for mocks before the actual exam or only being happy with the 2 mocks that are provided to you by your study material is not going to take you places. Believe me, you need mocks. Now, what are the big 5 must-dos for all of you USCMA bright stars of the future? First, ensure essay practice along with the MCQs. At Apex Academics, we give prime focus to essay questions, and believe me when I say this, we do at least 35 to 40 essay caselets for one entire part. Not just do we type the essay questions down on shared windows, but we also ensure that students are sending in their responses to essay questions, which we vet in the CMA approved examination checking patterns. Plan your preparation in an orderly manner and aim at 2 full revisions with ample practice. At Apex, we cover at least 2 study materials end to end for MCQs. I am proud to say, I am happy to say that we are the only service provider in the USCMA market that solves essay and MCQ questions cover to cover for any study material that we provide. And we provide 2 of them. Any other leading service provider today with these lakhs and millions of followers and these big fancy websites and these great huge sales teams give you only one, and they don't even bloody solve it entirely in class. Solve and complete the latest IMA exam support package at least 2 times before your exam. We solve the whole IMA support package live in class, and we provide recordings for the same. As a gesture, cost management IMA support package is available on request. Kindly ping us on the number you can see on the screen, and we'll give it to you on a YouTube link. Be equally well prepared for theory as well as numerical. Focus on concepts perfected, understand why a particular option cannot be the answer, and focus on the quality of questions, not on the quantity. You might do 20,000 questions, but you're not conceptually sound. How does it matter? Question number 20,001 is going to clean bold you when you go for your batting. It cannot be so. Ensure that you are conceptually sound. And finally, take at least 4 mocks before you go for your exams so that you have not wasted your exam fees. At Apex Academics, we provide 5. We provide 5 mocks with assessment, and an AI enabled tool enables us to point out the weaknesses in your preparation. Subscribe to Apex Academics because this video is beneficial for everybody doing CMA. Let it reach to as many people possible. Direct messages on WhatsApp and get access to our MCQ sessions where we cover more than 1,000 MCQs, which will ensure your passing, and we offer crazy discounts. It is our aim to make this USCMA examination a financially feasible milestone for all of you bright stars of the future. What are you waiting for? Subscribe, follow, and reach out. Best of luck, and may God be with you and grant you success for the Jan and Feb exam windows and the upcoming windows as well. Ciao.